Hello, fight fans. I'm that boxing writer, Jeremy Harridges, and thank you for joining me in this video. I know it's been a while since I've posted my last video, but, I was trying to get the hang of everything technically, still working with audio, still working with visual, still trying to get everything together with this whole YouTube thing. Few things, a couple reminders. If you could, be so kind as to subscribe. Hit that little button in the corner. Also, make sure that you're visiting my work at fansided.com/boxing and also my work at thatboxingwriter.com. That's my personal webpage, and you can see everything that I've got going on. So let's talk. As far as what we have coming up, obviously next weekend we have the Charlo twins in action in their double header of sorts. I'll talk more about that in a separate video. I've talked to both Charlo twins before this fight. My articles are up at fansided.com/boxing, so check them out. I have something else that I want to talk about today. Unfortunately, I'm addressing the whole Floyd Mayweather Jr. versus Logan Paul possible boxing match. This story broke a few days ago, and it came out of nowhere, really. And the first few sources that were reporting on it made it a definite. Oh yeah, it's 100%. They're going to be fighting. It's going down. It's happening. And now, not so much. I'm really happy to hear that from most sources, what they're saying is that Floyd Mayweather was approached to fight Logan Paul in what I'm hoping is an exhibition. It's been widely reported that it would be an exhibition. But come on, really? Do we need to see Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul? I didn't want to touch it because I just thought it was fluff. I thought it was a publicity stunt. I thought it wasn't anything that was really relevant or that was really true. And I'm still hoping that's the case. It's looking more and more like it is, just kind of like, okay, they brought it to him and he didn't do anything with it. We don't know at the moment, but I really think that would be a terrible, terrible thing for the sport of boxing. We've done enough with these YouTubers moonlighting as boxers. Really, if anything, this is a PSA against ridiculous boxing matches. We really don't need them. I know DAZN and Eddie Hearn gave it some credibility when they put Logan Paul and KSI in the main event of their fight card. I get what Eddie Hearn was thinking, that it was great publicity for the sport of boxing, and you're going to get all these new boxing fans into the fights, and they're going to follow, and yada, yada, yada. Obviously, that business model didn't work. If you've been paying any attention to what's been going on with DAZN recently, things aren't good. They're laying off employees, which a lot of those employees are my friends, and I feel for them. I wish that things at DAZN were going better. The business model obviously has been slowed by the pandemic, and just the fact that they probably overbid on Canelo. The YouTube stunt didn't really work. It's great that you had some guys that were popular and people bought or at least subscribed for a month, but beyond that, there's nothing to show that it had any sort of longevity. And of course, the pandemic, they weren't having fights. There wasn't really much of a need to have a subscription. So now if we're looking at this, Floyd Mayweather versus Logan Paul, you've got arguably one of the top fighters of all time, retired. Why would he do an exhibition with a YouTuber? I guess if the money's there and they're willing to pay him, what we've seen with Floyd Mayweather in the past, that if you pay him enough, yeah, he'll make an appearance, he'll do it. He'll make easy money, really quick. Now, if we're talking Logan Paul versus Floyd Mayweather, you're making a mockery of the sport. Having a YouTube star versus one of, if not the best fighter of all time, what are we talking about here? We're just making a joke of boxing. That's what this fight would do. It would, I think, forever tarnish the sport of boxing as just a sideshow, a circus act of sorts. Is that what we want boxing to be considered? Do we need eyeballs on the sport so much that we're willing to put one of the best fighters against a social media star that has no business being in the ring? And I'm not trying to hate on Logan Paul too much, although it's probably what I'm going to end up doing. He's not a boxer. He's athletic. He was a very good wrestler in high school, state champion, I think. So yeah, I'm not saying that he doesn't have some physical toughness to him. But to be a boxer, you really need to be doing that for a while, and you need to have more grit than what he's got right now. Let's just say he's living comfortable, okay? He's not a boxer, all right? He's not a boxer. In fact, just to prove the point, unfortunately, he actually has a BoxRec page because his previous fight with KSI, also not a boxer, social media star. Let's just look at his page. I'm not making this up. There's been no, at least on my end, there's been no photoshopping this. This is legitimately, if you go to boxrec.com and look up Logan Paul, this is what you find. You see his 0-1 record. You see his glamour shot, staring off, looking dreamy. I mean, that's not a boxer. All right, that's not a boxer. That's not a boxing photo. Logan Paul. If you look at Logan Paul, he kind of looks like a balding version of like Farrah Fawcett. And I'm not trying to knock the guy too bad, but whenever you gotta like do like a new age Flock of Seagulls thing, it's like Flock of Seagulls meets Justin Bieber, right? You got to push the hair down to try to cover up any of the bare spots. I mean, that's what's going on. Now, hey, I can sympathize, man. I'm 36 years old. This isn't as full as it used to be, okay? But yeah, that's not a boxer, okay? That's a YouTube star, and he's done really well as a YouTube star. He should stick with it. He should leave the boxing alone. Stop trying to make this wonderful sport a circus act, all right? We don't need any more of it. Celebrity boxing, all that shenanigans, just stop it. I really hope that nobody, if this fight somehow does get signed, I hope that nobody supports it. I hope that nobody buys it. And I hope most people would look at this saying, this is ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. And I did reach out to Mayweather Promotions, seeing if they had any word. I have a few contacts in there from people that I've worked with in the past, and I've heard nothing back from them. I'm hoping I haven't heard anything back because they have nothing to tell me, and it's not worth their time. I really hope that I haven't heard back because they're planning some sort of big announcement. That would be the worst thing. It's really, the ball's really in Floyd Mayweather's court. Let's keep our fingers crossed. Let's hope that none of this comes true. That's all I got to say. That's my little PSA on why we shouldn't pay any attention to this, even if somehow, some way it ends up getting legitimized as a real fight. Ignore it. It doesn't exist. Let's keep it that way. Thank you for watching, and make sure to subscribe. Click that button right down in the corner. I'll be coming out with more videos shortly. Thank you very much. I'll see you next time.